every fraction of a degree of additional warming increases the impacts that we will see from climate change. And we're already seeing those impacts in every inhabited part of the planet. Particularly, we can see those in Australia with the extreme events in particular becoming more frequent and more intense. Those are the impacts that we're seeing with 1.1 degree of global warming. And we have the target set out in the Paris Agreement to limit warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels and pursue the ambition to limit warming to 1.5 degrees. And there are some very good scientific reasons why we would want to limit warming to preferably 1.5 degrees, but definitely well below 2 degrees. And so some of the examples of the impacts in Australia, will heat waves become more intense and more frequent with every fraction of a degree of warming, and that has consequences for human health, for infrastructure, for communities, for agriculture. In parts of Australia, we are seeing an intensification of droughts, particularly the southern parts of Australia, a loss of the rainfall. But when rain does fall, it's more likely to fall in extreme heavy rainfall events with the flooding that causes as well. So there are a lot of consequences there. There are also consequences in terms of sea level rise, and even with rapid emission reductions this decade, there are sea level changes that are already set in place. And one of the really key factors for those targets that we have for limiting to 1.5 degrees is not only the extreme events becoming more frequent and more intense, but also with every fraction of a degree of warming, we increase the chances of passing irreversible tipping points in the climate system. And we may not know exactly where those tipping points lie, but there are some of them that have consequences for Australia and our neighbours, which the evidence points to them lying between 1.5 and 2 degrees.